Football has a way of telling stories that are bigger than goals, passes, or trophies. It tells stories of redemption, pain, resilience, and triumph. And tonight, in the Champions League, the story of Ademola Lookman's return for Atalanta is one of those tales. From being publicly criticized by his own coach after a painful penalty miss, to enduring a turbulent summer transfer saga, Lookman's journey back into the heart of the Atalanta team is layered with drama and meaning. But what exactly did we witness tonight in Atalanta's 2-1 comeback win over Club Brugge? What was Lookman's contribution? And more importantly, what does his return mean for Gianpiero Gasperini's Atalanta, a side trying to find its identity in both Serie A and the Champions League? Let's break it down. Atalanta entered this Champions League night under pressure. They had stumbled earlier in the group and desperately needed points to keep their European campaign alive. Club Brugge, no strangers to upsetting bigger teams, came into the game with confidence. And when Christoph Solis fired them ahead in the 38th minute, the match looked like it might slip away from Gasperini's men. But Atalanta, true to their reputation for resilience, clawed their way back. Lazer Samadžić converted a penalty in the 74th minute, and Mario Pasali's header in the 87th minute sealed a dramatic comeback victory. Now, in the middle of that narrative was Ademola Lookman starting, working, pressing, linking play, and reminding the world that his story in Bergamo is far from finished. So how did he do? On paper, the stats don't jump off the page. 61 minutes played. 0 goals, 0 assists. 71% passing accuracy, 15 completed from 21. 1 recovery, 1 block. 1 foul won, 1 foul conceded. That's not the kind of stat sheet that headlines newspapers. But football is about more than numbers, and Lookman's performance tonight has to be read in context. From the opening whistle, he brought vertical energy to Atalanta's attack. Operating on the left side of Gasperini's 3-4-3, he constantly looked to stretch Brugge's backline. His diagonal runs forced the Belgian defenders to drop deeper than they wanted, giving Atalanta's midfield more space to operate. There were moments when his dribbling unsettled the opposition, even if the final pass or shot wasn't always there. He didn't score, but his movement played a key role in tiring Brugge's defense, and by the time he was subbed off, you could sense Atalanta's attack had more freedom. In short, he didn't light up the scoreboard, but he tilted the pitch. To understand the meaning of tonight, you have to rewind to February earlier this year. Atalanta were in the knockout rounds, facing Club Brugge once again. They were desperate to stay alive in the Champions League. Lookman, who had already given them hope with a second half goal, stepped up to take a crucial penalty. And he missed. Simon Mignolet guessed right, made the save, and Atalanta's European dreams crumbled. But the story didn't end there. After the game, coach Gianpiero Gasperini did something extraordinary, and not in a good way. He blasted Lookman publicly, calling him one of the worst penalty takers I've ever seen and saying he should never have been allowed to step up in such a moment. The words were brutal. Many fans and pundits felt Gasperini went too far. Players miss penalties all the time, but rarely does a coach torch one of his stars in the media like that. Lookman himself admitted later that he was hurt. He said he had agreed in the moment to take the kick and didn't expect such public disrespect. From that moment, his relationship with Gasperini looked fractured. And the entire world began to wonder, was this the beginning of the end of Ademola Lookman at Atalanta? The summer that followed was turbulent. Rumors swirled about Lookman pushing for a move away. Reports linked him with clubs in the Premier League, in Germany, even in Saudi Arabia. The story was that Lookman felt unappreciated after Gasperini's public attack. He wanted a fresh start, somewhere he'd be respected. Some outlets even suggested he had a gentleman's agreement to leave. But Atalanta stood firm. They valued him too highly to let him go on the cheap. Offers didn't meet their valuation, and in the end, the Nigerian forward was still in Bergamo when the transfer window closed. It wasn't exactly a happy ending to the saga. Fans were divided. Some felt he should fight for his place. Others believed the damage with Gasperini was irreparable. Which is why tonight's game matters so much. Lookman starting. Lookman contributing. Lookman being part of a comeback when it sends a message. The story isn't over. Now, let's go deeper. Beyond the numbers, beyond the drama, what does his return actually mean for this Atalanta side? 1. Tactical depth. Atalanta's system thrives on forwards who can run in behind, stretch defenses, and create overloads. Lookman brings that in abundance. Without him, they rely too much on Charles de Ketelaere or Gianluca Scamacca, who offer different profiles. Lookman balances the attack. 2. Psychological boost. For the dressing room, his return signals healing. When a player publicly clashed with the coach, it can divide a squad. Seeing him back in the 11, working hard, shows that wounds can heal and that the focus is back on football. 3. European ambition. Atalanta want to prove they belong among Europe's elite. Lookman, with his pace, flair, and directness, gives them a weapon that few defenses enjoy facing. His return strengthens their hand in a tough group. 4. For Nigerian football fans. Let's not underestimate what this means to fans back home. Lookman is one of the Super Eagles' brightest stars. Seeing him back on the Champions League stage after such public humiliation is a story of resilience that resonates far beyond Bergamo. Tonight's game was not just about 61 minutes of football. It was about symbolism. When Lookman stepped onto that pitch against Brugge, he wasn't just another forward. He was a man facing the same opponent who haunted his reputation months earlier. He didn't score, he didn't win a penalty, but he was there. He contributed. And Atalanta won. For him, that's redemption in its purest form. So where does this story go from here? If Lookman can stay fit, committed, and trusted by Gasperini, Atalanta have one of the most dynamic forwards in Serie A, a man who can change games with his acceleration, who can score in bursts, who can create chaos. For Atalanta, it means more options, more unpredictability, and more firepower as they chase progress in the Champions League and consistency in Serie A. For Lookman himself, it's a chance to rebuild trust, silence doubters, and prove that he's not just a good player, he's a decisive one, even in the biggest competitions. Ademola Lookman's story is a reminder that football careers are not straight lines. They're full of peaks and valleys. One day you're the hero, the next you're criticized by your own coach. One summer you're desperate to leave, the next autumn you're back on the pitch, contributing to a comeback win. It's about resilience. It's about showing up, even when you've been written off. It's about proving that no single mistake defines you. For young players watching, for fans in Nigeria, for anyone who has ever been doubted, Lookman's return tonight is proof that redemption is always possible. So, what does Ademola Lookman's return for Atalanta in the Champions League mean? It means a player has faced his demons and is still standing. It means Atalanta have regained a key weapon in their European campaign. It means that football, once again, has given us a story of resilience and redemption. Ademola Lookman didn't score tonight. He didn't grab the headlines. But sometimes, the most important victories are not the ones that show up on the scoreboard, they are the ones that restore belief, rebuild bridges, and reopen futures. And that's exactly what happened this evening in Bergamo.